Hey guys, it's Jan, Not a Real Farm. So we are harvesting today, guys. The weather's changed. The nights are cooler. We're getting down to almost single-digit temperatures. So now I'm at the point where I'm taking out some of my peppers so we can use them in our tomato sauces. These are the purple Chinese peppers. So what happens is after they get to be this cool purple, they start changing into red and yellow. And then eventually that'll go orange. We have here's sort of a yellow color. So if you actually get them at different times, you can make some really cool looking relish if you like it spicy, which I do. So we're probably going to be doing two different sets of hot and mild salsa this year. All right, so here we go. This is our real first harvest off of about 4 plants. And now we're going to swing on over to our black strawberry tomatoes here that are ready to go. So much so that they're at that stage where they're sort of getting malleable. So these are black strawberry tomatoes and they are super sweet. Cut them in half, toss them in a salad, you're good to go. They've been one of the most popular tomatoes in our household besides the Queen of the Night. Take a look at that coloring. Okay, so moving right along, we've got our little pygmy micro tomatoes. So you can see they really don't grow very tall, but they do put on a lot of tomatoes. And so we'll harvest those today. Really good if you have a limited space in terms of maybe you live in an apartment, maybe you don't have the land that you can grow on. And this is why these options for tomatoes are good, because you can still get those great tomatoes. They still come out pretty much the size of a cherry tomato, but you can grow them with limited space. I'm taking you along with me today because as I'm picking, I'm also clearing these out because we're at the stage now where we need to start clearing out some things in the greenhouse in terms of the end of their life cycle. So the pygmies put on all their tomatoes at once. Pretty much you'll actually get maybe 1 or 2 tomatoes after it sort of starts putting all of these on. But other than that, you get all your tomatoes at once. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to clear out a lot of this space and take some of these tomatoes out. So now we can make room for the ones that still have a lot of time left to grow. Now that's how much I got out of them. So what I do is I'll throw my tag in here. So strawberry tomatoes, these are our little pygmies. And then we've got our Chinese peppers, which are all different colors now, which is kind of cool. And then the only one that I'm going to put in here now is my next plant over, which is going to be my witch stick cayennes. So take a look at these cayennes. Aren't those beautiful? So we are going to have a lot of these cayennes. Some of them are ready to go. Pick this guy too. They almost look like fingers, don't they? Okay, so we're going to take this guy off. Look at that. Yeah, we got a few more in here too. We can pick this guy. He's ready. Look how long he is. Isn't that awesome? So these are going to take definitely your full 80, 85 days. But they are so worth the wait. Okay, so now we have those peppers in the little bowl. Now I'm going to set this bowl aside and start a new one because I'm going to keep going straight down the greenhouse. Now, if we move on down here, you can see that our healthy peppers are now starting to change color. They're just not quite there yet, so we're going to leave these and let them stay on the plant a little while longer. You can tell that the weather's changing, see the cracking. So we'll just be getting a small little crop out of this now that everything's changed. And take a look at this, guys. We're in seed saving mode. So the cucumbers have definitely gone to seed saving mode. These are a pickling cucumber. They are extremely heavy. Look at this. So if you are trying to save the seeds, cucumbers can be a little finicky. You want to leave them pretty much until they're this color and almost brownish, I want to say, so that they almost are a little malleable. And then you want to scoop out the seeds and pretty much harvest them just like you would tomatoes and keep them in the water for a couple of days and then scrub them off and let them dry. Get that one up there. Ooh, and we have one that just fell here. Look at this. Back over here, we have our yellow dragon tomatoes. So they kind of remind me of a Sartre OS, but they've got sort of a black top. You can see how black they are there, and then a yellow bottom. So pretty cool. Isn't that neat? So we only grew a limited amount of these to see how they would grow in the greenhouse, and so far so good. Okay, and here's our experiment with blueberry cherry. So we took the blueberry cherry and we basically just crossed it with a red tomato. So now you've got a gigantic blueberry cherry that looks like this. Pretty neat, eh? So basically all it did was it just got a little bit bigger, but hey, it actually turned out really good. We're gonna put them up here. Look at that. They actually turned out beautiful. Pretty much the same red bottom and the black shoulders. Now I'm curious to taste them. All right, so we're here at the lychees. See how it's basically this little sheath that it's got peeled back. So then you can simply just grab the lychee and pull it off. So that's what lychees look like. They almost look like a cherry. And they are super sweet, really good to eat. So we will be saving the seeds on these ones. There's another one that's ready to go. Trying not to get killed by the thorns here. Oh, there we go. Actually, it was so ripe it pulled apart. So now you get to see sort of the inside. It's got seeds like a tomato. Oh, and it just tastes like a tomato slash, what's the other? Well, you know what? Tomato slash plum. That's the only way I can actually describe the taste. Now on this vine here, we've got our Charlie's Red Staker. So that one's getting pretty big, but he's not necessarily ready. And we've got a couple of medium ones down here that I'd like to save the seed from. This is a Charlie's Red Staker. So super nice tomato. We actually had it just with some steak the other night. So it actually turned out pretty good. So you can see here, here's a couple other Charlie's Red Stakers too that I left out too long, which are cracked, but that's okay. We can save the seeds. All right, and here we go. So some of our sunflower seeds here. So here is my Tiki Torch sunflower. And now we're starting to get more seeds. So these ones are still green, but these ones, if you take a look at the back of the seed head, it's all brown. So this means that these seeds, these sunflower seeds are ready to go. Same with the two here. So we actually have quite a few of these that we can cut now and basically just shake the seed head and they'll come out in terms of having sunflower seeds. Here's another one. So we're gonna cut those down today too. Ooh, this one is really dry up here. So now what you're seeing is you're seeing me trim this considerably. So we've got a lot of new flowers, but at the same time, we also have a lot of seeds. And so now it's time to really say, okay, how many more sunflower seeds do I really need? And so I'm just taking the ones now that are done and I'm trimming this back so that it doesn't take over the greenhouse as much. So we're considerably chopping this down. In the back, let me go around this way. These are our Underground Railroad tomatoes. Let's see if this will come off here. And these are ripe and ready to go. So that's one. And we have one in the back here. Check that out. So we're going to be saving the seeds from these guys too. And then we also have one way over there in the back. That's a really nice big one. So this was a new tomato this year that we grew. And it seems to fare really good in the greenhouse. So it definitely is going to be something I'll grow again. And then we'll do tasting trials to see what we feel the tomato tastes like and if we would grow it for our own place. So now all I'm doing is basically just pulling a lot of the vines off the cattle panel because these cucumber vines. This cucumber is pretty much done. Take a look at the leaves. But the cucumbers love to climb the cattle panel, no problem. And you can give it a little yank and it just comes right off. So the cattle panel is pretty handy, but now you're witnessing the work that it takes when you have a greenhouse of this size to keep it somewhat clutter-free and to keep it clean. And sometimes it can be demanding, especially if you are someone like myself who's gone back to work full-time. This can be a full-time job within itself. Okay, so as I've been coming back home at nighttime, we have been harvesting. And so what you're seeing here is you're actually seeing our extra large ground cherry that we decided to try to experiment with this year. And so what this needs, maybe, oh, this one's okay. Sometimes they need an extra couple of days, but you can see the size difference of the ground cherry on this plant as opposed to the regular ground cherries that we have in our store before. Let's take a look at this one. This is the same great taste. It's still going to taste like pineapple, but the berries are double the size. And so this was an experiment to see if we could get the berries any bigger than what they were. And it looks like the experiment was a success. All right, so now we're making progress. We are on the side where the fish peppers are, and we have all the way to the end there. And a lot of those aren't ready, but we will take a quick peek. But you can see here the fish pepper is really starting to grow. Look at the leaves, aren't they cool? We're gonna have tons and tons of fish peppers. And if you take a look, here is the color of that pepper. So like I was saying before, you can add these to Caribbean dishes. They're very spicy. Really interesting to look at though, even just to grow. So we have 4 of those plants. And then of course, here's the star of the show, our queen of the night. And this seems to be a real favorite in our store this year. I can tell you that out of all the tomatoes that we have been eating, my husband says that this is his favorite to put on a sandwich. And he's normally a beefsteak person, but it's because he said that this, for whatever reason, this tomato is really sweet and tastes great on a piece of bread. So, okay. Can't judge them by the color. Awesome. Take a few more of these out of here. We'll have lots of these seeds for sure to share, absolutely. They're just a really good looking tomato. I'm very happy with the growth. And as you can see, they really put on a lot of tomatoes. We keep looking. Oh, here we go, way in the back. I could be here probably for another 10 minutes picking these, so we will leave these, but you can see just how many tomatoes that we're getting out every time we come in here to harvest. So this is a really good producer, not to mention an awesome topic of conversation if anybody ever asks you what kind of tomato this is that you're growing. And then we have, of course, our black paste tomato, which is coming along very nicely, but it's not ready. Let's move this out of the way so you can see. You see how it's going to have those nice black shoulders. We've got some actually in the back that are just starting to turn. So it'll be neat to really see what they look like in the end when they're ready. And then, of course, we have our sweetheart cherries. So we have to take these off now. They are definitely ready. Let me take a look and see what's in the back here. Ooh, I thought I saw a black paste tomato. Not quite ready. All right, so I've actually gone ahead and pulled down one of our blackberry plants. Look at this cane. Comes all the way out. It was twisted in with my sweetheart cherries. Look at this. If I keep straightening this out, I can still go backwards. Look at the length of this vine. Isn't that crazy? Let me just turn around. And it's still going. This vine has got to be probably, I'm going to say, about 12 feet easily. Look at that. Now I have to see where it actually starts. This all the way in here. Unbelievable. So I'm going to have to trim this. Unfortunately, it's going to turn into a tree. And here we are. Here's our Sweetheart cherry tomatoes. And they usually don't let you down either. They put on a lot of tomatoes. So what you can do is you can actually take this entire thing and cut it off and just sort of leave them. You can hang them up, whatever you want to do. But they will always provide you with tons and tons of cherry tomatoes. So this is probably our 5th harvest off of these, and really not disappointed with it. So Sweetheart cherry, you can see why they call it that. It's in the shape of a heart, of course. So that's where it got its nickname from. All right, onward and upward. So check this out, guys. Remember when I said I wasn't sure if we were going to get another crop of blackberries this year before the frost? Look at this. So our blackberries have given us 2 crops this year, 2 big, beautiful crops. As a matter of fact, that one is ready. Look at that. Amazing. So we've now we have to look for all the blackberries around here that may have flowers that are going to give us this. And that is amazing. To have 2 crops of blackberries in the summer, how can anybody complain? This is the taste of summer for me as a kid. Welcome to the jungle is really what I should be playing in here today, but take a look at this. Big, beautiful zucchini. Okay, so we have, this has sort of been random for me this summer. I'll get, some of them are really big, and then some of them don't get pollinated like this one here. So it's kind of been very random. I'm glad that I didn't really get overrun with zucchini this year, but our yellow zucchini gives the green zucchini a run for its money, that's for sure. And if I turn slightly just over my head, look how far the rose has grown over. All the way over to here, all the way through, and actually it goes on to the other side here. So we have to do some trimming. I do have more blackberry flowers coming out as well. What I'm finding is the blackberries and the roses like to grow together as long as you can keep them in check. So we got our blackberries there, and then of course the rose is entangled and sort of goes over here. So we need to trim this, but I've had a lot of success with the blackberries and the roses growing together, no problem. And over here, we have our celebrity hybrids. So once again, a really great, reliable tomato. If you're looking at growing something that is a hybrid, I've grown them for a few years now. I really am enjoying them. You can see the size of tomato that you're gonna get is basically gonna cover a slice of sandwich, which we really like as well. And then last but not least, we have what's called a yellow purple rain cherry. So if we go down here, purple rains get to be about this big. And then they have a nice sort of splash of purple color on them. So this is weather dependent. If it's warm, you'll get more yellow. But if it's colder, you'll see these purple stripes here, or you'll see these green stripes here turn more purple. So right now it's still warm enough in the greenhouse, even with the temperature changing, that you're gonna see that this is gonna be more yellow with a splash of purple. So let's keep an eye out and see what it looks like as the weather cools. All right, so that's it for me today, guys. You have helped me trim and save seed and really cut down a lot of the stuff that we were trying to really clear out here in the greenhouse, because it can tend to get a little bit cluttery sometimes when the plants sort of go bananas. So you can see here we've done a lot of work, and you all came along with me as I was doing it, and I just wanted to thank you for that. We still have a lot of work to do in the greenhouse, but we're getting there. See you soon.